Hello there, I'm Thomas, the pilot flying the Boeing 737-800 NGX in this flight. I'm also flying the Airbus A340 in another video. So I'm going to be showing you here a whole flight from Zurich International Airport back to Zurich International Airport. We're going to be flying a flight level 250 35,000 feet with Mach 0.78 or 325 knots. And I'm going to be showing you some of the aircraft systems, maybe do an aircraft engine start before takeoff and explain you a lot of the systems and the details of the flight for this video that I hope you're going to enjoy. So here we are. I'm going to be very fast for this flight. We have no time actually. So here is the engine levers. This is the side stick I use to fly the aircraft and use it for the flight controls lever. Um, uh, there's a control wheel here for the ailerons and the spoilers, which is used to roll the aircraft left and right and pitch up and down the horizontal tail section elevator. And here is the trim that we use to balance the horizontal tail elevator. Here's the thrust levers. I move them all the way up. You can see the thrust here is increasing. You can see here is the N1, the high speed, the low speed section of the engine. The exhaust gas temperature, the fuel flow, and pounds, 1000 of pounds per hour, 3640 pounds per hour per engine. Here's the N2, which is the high speed, high pressure compressor of the engine rotation, which is 78.9% right now. The fuel flow, again the oil pressure, the oil temperature, the oil quality. This is the ACAS part. Engine indication and crew alert system. Here's the navigation display. You can see the airports around us. We have a GPS and terrain data. We also have here the terrain displayed in this horizontal section. We have the altitude of the terrain in front of us, so we can fly the aircraft even in low visibility conditions. The primary flight display, the airspeed indicator, the selected airspeed, the selected altitude. Our barometric altitude setting is 1430 feet above mean sea level, and here is the radio altitude, which is 0 right now because we are in the ground. Here is the magnetic or true compass. Here is the autopilot section of the aircraft, the indicated airspeed, the heading, and the altitude, and the vertical speed, which I can also move. So if we want to start the engines right now, I have the APU, which is the auxiliary power unit, start already. You can see here it's supplying the aircraft. Maybe I can see transfer some of this. Yeah, you can see the bus off right now. So I transfer to the APU from the engine the electrical power, so I can turn off the fuel control levers. Now we have enough fuel into the engine. You can see that message here: low pressure, lower pressure. You can see the engine rotation is decreasing. I have no engines rotating right now in a while, so maybe I will come for this engine start. I'm going to be showing you now. So we have the low pressure right now. I'm going to be showing you some part of this in the cockpit right now. Over here, upper tunnel here. This is another beautiful view of the cockpit. You can see the instruments, the thrust levers, the speed brake, the flaps, fuel cutoff lever for the engines here. So I'm gonna use we have a APU supplying the bleed air. If I turn it off, there is no bleed air to start the engines and pressurize the hydraulics and the cabin. So I'm gonna let this on, turn the packs off, the isolation in the auto. I'm gonna turn the electric pumps off here. I'm gonna be very fast for this flight. The wing gears, we need this. Gonna turn this off to save some electricity. Here is the electrical panel, the batteries, and the APU and the engine generators, and the batteries, transformer rectifiers, and the static inverters to supply either system with alternating direct current. Here's the either engine, left engine, right engine electrical alternator, which produces alternate current from its engine when the engine is working. Here's the fuel panel, the fuel pumps. I can turn them on and off. This is the crossfeed. We don't need this right now. I will show in another slide. So I'm only gonna start. Use here is the engine start selector in the ground. I use ignition in the bolts. So you're gonna see now the N1. The engine starter, the compressor starter, is admitting air from the APU and is compressing the engine to initiate the start. When I'm gonna move this fuel cutoff lever in the on position, the fuel will gonna start running into the engine from the high and low pressure valves. And the fuel pumps are already running, if I remember well. So I'm gonna show you. You can see here the left engine starts spinning nicely. So we're going back, release the fuel cutoff lever in the on position. You can see here the start valve is open, low oil pressure, exhaust gas temperature. The N1, which is the low pressure compressor of the front fan, low speed rotor, is increasing. So we have the left engine on. So I'm gonna do the same for the right engine now. We have some electrical from the engine if I want to use, but I can use the APU for electric power as an alternative. So I'm gonna do that with the other engine. I'm gonna be showing you now. You can see the left engine is start. So you can see this engine is off right now. It's not spinning. So I'm gonna come here, turn these engine start selectors to the ground position. You can see the message here displayed. Start valve is open, low oil pressure. When the N2 is gonna reach this view. So when the N2 is gonna reach 20% plus, we can initiate the engine start. So I'm gonna start the fuel lever to the start position. So I'm gonna show you now. You can see the engine thrust is gonna start increasing. You can hear it spinning already. Here we have it. And here it is. Start valve is still open. It's gonna turn off in a while. And here we are. We're ready to take off almost. Just need to set up a couple of things. So I'm gonna turn the packs on and the electric generators on and the window heat on. So I only need this. Okay, this is the generator for electrical power. So I'm gonna start the flight plan very quickly. We have our fuel weight here. The fuel gross weight 131,900 pounds. Zero fuel weight 121,800 pounds, because we have almost 9,000 pound fuel right now. So I'm gonna start here in the root position, definitely. SMC. So we have the position here, the initial position from the GPS request. We have the route here. So maybe back to the Z8. It's cancels. From Zurich International back to Zurich International, runway 14. So I'm gonna set the airspeed for the takeoff. I'll select the 250 knots here in the control panel. I'm gonna set the altitude 35,300. We have maybe like 30 minutes for this flight. You have to be very fast. So I'm gonna set the speed flaps to the 15. Speed brakes retracted, center of gravity is correct. So depart from this runway through these fixes, you know the things. The legs are ready. Initial reference, 0 fuel, reserves 5, cost index 100. This is for the center of gravity also. Estimate. And cost index for the fuel. Exit, legs, departure, arrival, Lszh. You can see here the flight plan and the constraint which are created, the altitude constraint, and the ways we have to. We're gonna fly above Germany actually, and France, maybe above Switzerland, some part of Germany. Transformity. Wow, this is very nice flight plan. So transmedia legs. V1 limit. Here we have flaps 1.5. Center of gravity 32.2%, 3.75, 125, 126, and 137. This is our takeoff speed here. So for this takeoff, we have our airspeed. Our auto thrust system is armed, and now will be armed when we are in alignment with the runway, so we can start now. And we have like 30 minutes to go for this flight, maybe less. So I can start rolling the engine to go into the runway. Maybe we're not gonna make the whole flight in one go. I hope so we can make it. So if I'm trying to align this for the takeoff position. So I'm gonna move the thrust levers all the way up forward. We are aligned with the runway. We have maybe 25 minutes to go for this flight due to the video limitation and the battery limitation. So V1, V1, V2, here we are, the takeoff. Retract the landing gear. We can initiate our roll, our bank roll. You can see the altitude constraint, some terrain over here we have to avoid. In front of us, there are some mountains. You can see the altitude. We are 1,900 feet right now, so I'm gonna have to climb higher. Keep climbing to avoid the terrain over here we have in front of us. You can see this radar is very good actually. We have our flight plan. I'm gonna decrease the range a little bit so we can have better view of the waypoint. Maybe I need to execute this. Activate. So here we go. Our altitude right now is 4,800 feet barometric. Our speed 179 knots. Our mode control index here shows us the flight directories are. We're flying manually. So we are gonna arm the Ilsloc. We need our next waypoint here. So can see how it planned right now. We have 20 more minutes to go for this flight. So we have to do it very fast. Very fast climb, very fast descent. Rate of climb and rate of descent. We're going with the maximum thrust right now for this position. You can see we almost reach our stall speed. We have a very narrow buffet, lower airspeed, which is gonna stall the aircraft. Here the radar, 122 knots maybe. And this is a safe speed of 140 knots that we have to avoid. And here is the upper limit is the flap speed because we have flaps extended right now. You can see the auto trim is trimming the aircraft now based on the auto thrust demand. You can see our next altitude constraint. We have actually fly over it. We override it. It's gonna fly higher than that for this flight. I'm gonna try to complete the whole flight, hopefully. I'm gonna show you some nice views now of the Zurich and Switzerland. This is Germany, I think. Yeah. These valleys over here. I'll show you another view. This view I like. Nice. So I'll fly more relaxed right now. Have maybe 20 more minutes to go, so I'm gonna try to climb fast and descend fast. We cannot complete the whole flight as I thought so, because we need more than 30 minutes. And I got 40 minutes for this because I have to go somewhere. Unfortunately. This is the fuel warning here because we have no fuel in the setter tanks right now. Empty. You can see our thrust over here. It's 93.6, 92.7%. All the ratios of the engine, the thrust levers here. This is how we fly manually. So we're gonna have to slow down the rate of climb a little bit. Not just a little bit. Just increase the airspeed a little bit. Holding level, not climbing down. A little bit less than flaps in that. It's gonna give us better acceleration. So keep gliding. You can see the mode control panel of the autopilot, the FDS as they call it, the flight director system displays. You can see our next waypoint over here. We have to go fly through for this flight plan to be complete. The LNAV and the VS, which is the horizontal and the vertical guidance, and the mode control panel speed mode from the auto thrust system. The auto thrust design and the speed guidance we have in the autopilot. The LNAV and the VS vertical speed. Maybe I have to use the altitude hold instead. I'm changing modes right now. Maybe it's gonna make us climb faster. We're crossing 30,000 feet and we're gonna start turning towards the airport in a while because we have no time for the whole flight. We're gonna maybe have some handrails in a while. There's some airports over here in the navigation display GPS system. So we're gonna start turning back to the airport because we have no much time to complete this flight. Here we have the contrail that I was telling you. Έλα, έρχομαι τώρα, σε λίγο πάω. Μην ανησυχείς. Here we are. A beautiful outside view. Here we have the chemtrails. Here we are, we almost reached our maximum altitude for this flight. And we almost reached our stall speed. So I'm gonna start banging slightly back into the airport. Holding level. This is how finally we turn. I actually want to turn faster, so maybe use a little bit more airspeed. You see how safe this aircraft is, even close to the stall speed. This is how we avoid the stall speed, by increasing the thrust and leveling the aircraft from climbing. So I'm gonna use more airspeed right now, more thrust. Hopefully, and retract the flaps we don't need right now. Turn back to the airport. This may be a direct tube into the airport. This is the shortest range into the airport right now, 44 nautical miles, which means we're gonna be landed in like 15 minutes from now. So hopefully maybe less than 15 minutes. I'm gonna try to make this in 30 minutes. This is turning down the nose of the aircraft, show you where the next waypoints are. We are only 39 nautical miles away, so we're gonna start descending in a while. We can start descending now. You can see we still have the chemtrails here. So I'm going to decrease a little bit the engine thrust for this. Yeah, we have initiated our descent. Make a fast descent, expedite. And put the exit here. I'll be showing a little bit more of the length. We have to be landed by 10 minutes by now, hopefully. Have some nice star sign over here. So I'm gonna try to use my fighter jet pilot skills for this landing because I really need to go fast somewhere. Maybe I'm in a good position with the airport right now, as you can see. So we're gonna make a shortcut from this flight planner, flight path, and over to the AD because it's 18.9 nautical miles. We're gonna make a shortcut train here and get closer into the airport. We are here over the river. We have to use some speed brake now to slow down and increase the rate of descent a little bit. That's good, that's what we want to do, go fast. Going with Mach 0.65 right now for this landing. Over here. So I hope in 5 minutes we're gonna be landing. It's gonna be very fast landing. So I'm gonna use some localizer modes here. Lock. I'm gonna decrease this margin even further to a safe landing speed. I'm gonna extend the speed brakes and I have already extended the landing gear. Here we have landing gear. It's gonna slow us down a little bit. We're gonna keep slowing down. Here we are in a very good position for this landing. So I'm gonna make a nice turn also. And extend some speed brakes through the flap lever. So I'm gonna have to close down the throttle, the auto thrust, So here we go for landing now. We're gonna have a nice fighter jet like landing. Here we are perfectly aligned with the runway and the ILS here, as you can see. We're perfectly aligned right now. It's beautiful. Very, very rare to see this kind of alignment. You can see here the terrain display and the alignment from the ILS with the runway setting. This is our horizontal alignment for the runway. You can see the airspeed is fixed right now. You can see the radar altitude 1000 feet above the ground right now. You can see our airspeed is managed completely well selected. Actually. And here we are. Very nice line. Parking brakes and reverse thrust. You can see how nicely we landed. Here is the landing gear and the nose wheel. There is no damage over there. Both the landing gear and the nose wheel are perfectly safe. You can see the thrust reverses deployed here. So this is so much for this flight. That was Thomas, the pilot flying the Boeing 737-800 with the Airbus A340, the Boeing 737-800 for this flight. So we have perfectly nice landing. Thank you for joining me in this flight. I'm going to see you next time. Bye bye.